This is how it is going to go. We are going to have 7 days straight where we have picks that you can make with your chance to be BetTV's Betting Extraordinaire for a chance to win $25,000. If you get the first 3 questions right over the course of 3 days, you're going to win $250. If you get to day 5, you're going to win $2,500. And if you get through day 7, a week straight of correct picks, we're going to give you $25,000. No joke.
They're close. It's day 4 of Who Wants to Be Betting Extraordinaire. After taking a week off last week, Mike and Tim each pocketed $250, winning day 3 last week. I was out of town. We told them, hey, you got to wait, prep, mentally refresh, day 4, and your chance at $25K when I get back. Well, I'm back. Things are okay. I'm a little sick. Didn't sleep much on my trip, but I'm surviving.
You iced them. I love it.
That's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
They were on a roll, and now they've been iced for 7 days.
For a week.
That's what they'll say if they lose, but we got a good one. Everyone's like, oh, Monday Night Football, Chicago Bears, Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, that game, do not want to watch that, to be completely honest. Total's only like 40. It's the Steelers and the Bears. I could have done some sort of, look, first day ones are usually favorites. More people get through to day 2 than not. Day 2 is always like a pick 'em, minus 110 each way. Day 3, small underdog. Day 4, little bigger underdog. So it's an NBA question. We got a big NBA slate. When I was in London, I was still in London on Saturday, my wife texted me, said both my son and my daughter had assists in their soccer games, and it was each their last soccer game in the season. And my daughter had been on a scoring streak and was actually, I think, upset about it. And I went through, my favorite part of basketball playing, watching, is the assist. Setting up with a great pass that gets an easy look for your teammate. So I kind of explained that. I was like, an assist can be not even just as good of scoring a goal, but sometimes better, because now you get your teammate to score, and it's because you made a great pass. And she's 6, and as I'm trying to help her realize, like, an assist still counts the same amount as points, whether you score or not. And she had been on this scoring run and definitely hadn't been passing for a while. And I, the week prior, had told her, like, hey, if your teammate's open, you don't have a good shot at the goal, like, pass to your open teammate. Anyway, she did and was still mad, and it worked. So just trying to help her with that process. But so I was like, hey, we're going to the hardwood NBA. We're going to do an assist question. And here it is. Which player records the most assists tonight? Chris Paul, James Harden, Trae Young, or Draymond Green. If there's a tie, like the leader sits around 9 or 10 or whatever it may be, then that goes to the Draymond Green selection, because he is a small underdog relative to the other 3. So that's where we're sitting. It's really straightforward, and we have Mike and Tim. Hopefully they remember Mike, they're calling in to play.
Mike typed in the chat. He didn't call in for Last Word Cheetah, but he said he'd be here.
Good. He's ready to play. Hopefully Tim's around. But yeah, not trying to ice him. Look, the trip was planned for a lot of months.
Tim remembered, because he's calling in.
All right. Well, then we're good to go. Bring him through. Tim, what's up, man? You're already on the show. You remembered. I'm glad you did. I didn't want to have to try to figure out how to text you or something. Are you ready to play?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Beautiful. Have you seen the question yet, or do you need me to repeat it?
Yeah, I saw the question.
Right on. All right. Take your time. No rush. Stakes are a little higher. A few questions from $25K and one from playing for $2,500 tomorrow. So take your time. But which player do you think records the most assists tonight?
I'm going to go with Chris Paul.
Okay. What's the reasoning?
Well, I just looked at the odds for each of them. Looks like Chris Paul's the highest with 9.5 juice. So I'm just going to trust the market.
Easy as that. And he is right. The 9.5s on Chris Paul are juiced over. Not the case for James Harden or Trae Young. And Draymond's a little lower anyways. Easy enough, man. We'll lock you in. Good luck tonight. Hopefully we're talking to you tomorrow.
All right, thanks.
See ya. By the way, interestingly enough, a bunch of Brooklyn Nets action. They were plus 1.5 all day. It's now pick in the last few minutes. Nets got some action. Maybe that means James Harden is going to get more points or assists or both.
4 points is more likely.
Yeah. Is Mike on the line yet?
Mike just called in.
All right, beautiful. Go ahead and patch him through. Mike, what is up, man? How are you doing?
How's it going? How's your week off?
It was good. I'm sick now. I know you weren't. You didn't call into the last show, but I'm getting over a bad cold. They wouldn't have let me into the country though if I had COVID, so I tested negative there. So I'm surviving, but all is well. Could be worse. And we're going NBA. Have you seen the question yet? Just want to double check.
I have.
Okay, cool. Let me know whenever you're ready. Which player you think gets the most assists tonight?
Yeah. With assists being such like a low number, it is tempting with the tie with
Yep.
Draymond, but I think I might, it's worked out well for me and Tim so far. I think we're just gonna, ride this wave all the way to 50 grand together and take Chris Paul.
Okay. That would be something if they just copied each other and won the next 4 questions. I'd probably be fired, but it would be something. I'm fine with it. We'll lock him in. Chris Paul, man. Good luck tonight. I'll be sweating that game now with everyone else.
You get some rest. Don't sweat too much.
I will. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Take it easy.
Take care.
Supposed to sweat it cold out, so
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They did theoretically choose the best option. Harden and Trae Young are 8.5. Green 7.5. Paul's 9.5. Like if you're just looking at those prices, I will say this though: a few of the projections that I trust to some extent for daily numbers for player props and stuff, the 9.5 on Paul is they actually like under, especially at plus money. Now the total in that game's climbed 4 points from open. Excuse me, guys. 3.5 to 4 points from open. So that's implying more points, etc. The Harden one, like I just mentioned, Nets got steamed 1.5 down to pick. So if that implies good Nets, then Harden maybe gets more assists. But they had it a little higher than 8.5. They actually have Harden and Paul for the most part around the same number. Market's different though than just a couple people's projections that I averaged. Trae Young they have a little lower though than both of those, but like 0.4 of an assist. And they actually have they like Draymond over 7.5. It's a pretty big edge. They have Green. I think it was like 8.3. Young was 8.3. Draymond's 8.0. Young 8.3. James Harden 8.8. Chris Paul 9.0. Something like that. And you get the tie outs on Draymond Green. So I think it's closer than it looks when you just look at the over-unders, personally.
You know how.
But you're supposed to go with Chris Paul.
You know how we can end this?
No.
Completely. I'm gonna pick Chris Paul.
Well, you probably do. Actually, you've been all right on some of these betting extraordinaire picks. I'll be honest.
The last few I missed. I missed the one Friday, the Lions Eagles tie before we took the break.
Yep. It was interesting because, geez, the Nets just moved to a -1.5 point favorite at Chris. If my screen's not lying, maybe someone for the Bulls is actually out because that's a pretty big move. Maybe it isn't. 3-0 isn't that crazy. I'm probably wrong. It's probably just someone that finally wanted to come in and slam the Nets. I kind of am thinking James Harden's the right answer. I don't know why, but probably just reading into a random market move 2.5 hours before it starts. But Chris Paul's probably the answer. It just is. Now, here's the thing. They're all relatively close, and 70% of the time, it's day one tomorrow, and everyone gets to play again and start laddering up. But the 30%-ish, they're both getting through, playing for $5K. And it's a real sweat. That'll be fun.
So going back to your assist question.
Yeah.
Or your assist love. Who are you taking all time as the best assist man?
Well, you have to. What's an assist man? John Stockton had the most.
We're talking Stockton. We're talking CP3.
Part of it's like the style of the assist, though. So growing up, my favorite players were all point guards. My first favorite player was Nick Van Exel. He would do some fancy, flashy passes. He also just chucked a lot of threes before players really did that.
Yeah.
So I loved him. But my favorite players besides him, early Jason Kidd was super flashy too with the ball. Stephon Marbury, was another one.
Okay.
And White Chocolate, Jason Williams.
I mean,
Dude, he's like all time and the fanciness and stuff with his passing.
so many times I tried to do the off the elbow pass in a game. Did not work.
In a game?
Did not work.
Explains a lot.
Yeah.
Look, I don't even know if he could do it again if he tried live like that. It's just
could.
He's insane. So those are some of my favorite players growing up as a kid. Right now, some of the best passers. Like I always liked Rubio because he's a good passer, but he's pretty like fundamental like Stockton. He doesn't do a ton of craziness. So as far as some of the crazy passes that I think now is, especially when he's not a point guard, is Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
Just like all-time big man passing. Like he's just the best at it.
I love Lottie.
Lottie was good. Arvydas Sabonis. Like he's got a mix of all those guys and the point guards. And he has like the James Harden in him where he sees guys in this day and age standing in corners when defenders are sagging off, and he finds ways to look off to help defenders and get passes to the corner guys for three that no other big can do. It's just insane, yeah.
Lonzo's gonna be like that pass. I think a couple like when you left, the one where he threw like it was like a no looker and he threw it right over somebody. I forgot. It was like,
Lonzo and LaMelo can both pass the ball.
or not Lonzo, LaMelo.
Well, LaMelo's the one that had that pass. Yeah. Lonzo though, you know their background playing in high school at oh wow, no, I just forgot.
Something with an L, right?
I can just look it up real quick. They all played together. I don't know why I can't think of the name. Chino Hills. So they're all playing there, but they played that like just super high tempo offense. As soon as they'd get a rebound, they would turn and they'd have guys splitting down the court. And so he sees things for 94 feet that most guys don't. And there's been a few times he's made some outlet passes that were pretty insane. Or he'll throw like back, especially when he was playing with Zion last year. He probably led the NBA in half-court alley-oops, where he'll just get rid of it, from 45 feet, and it'll just be an easy dunk. Most of the time, you wait until you're a little closer to make a pass like that. Like, I don't know. Lonzo's probably a good one in general, but his are a little different. And by different, I mean like unique. It's not like around the back passes or something. His are just more based on the style he grew up playing in high school for a few years, LaMelo as well. So, yeah. But that's where I'm at with assists. I'm not even sure real quick.
I can't believe you didn't mention Magic.
I didn't get to see Magic play that much, not to make you feel old. But I didn't really get, even as a Lakers fan, when I started following, that's what I'm saying. How did you watch Magic?
Yeah.
When I started following the NBA, I was 7 or 8 years old, and Magic was retired. I just can't internally say I love Magic Johnson. He's so good. I've literally never watched him play.
I vaguely.
He came back to the NBA.
Yeah,
that might have been the one time I saw him play.
The post press conference Magic.
Steve Nash, those era Suns. Hard to leave him out. I'm going to look up the list of all-time NBA assist leaders, make sure I'm not forgetting someone on that, front. Hold on. Because it's Stockton and then Kidd, I think, was second, and then Paul just jumped into the top 3 last year. Okay. Yeah, and then Nash is actually 4th. Mark Jackson, Magic, Oscar. LeBron, I mean, he's good. Can't dismiss LeBron. Ooh, you know a good one? Little sneaky triple-double guy back in the day, Andre Miller. I liked Andre Miller.
Nuggets Andre Miller is a dog.
Rondo passed too much because he would just pass on layups to get the assist, but he had some pretty good looks back in the day, too, at least those Celtics. You know who's 5th all-time in assists? I always forget about him. He does commentary now.
Who?
Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson.
He dropped dimes, yo. Isaiah Thomas 9th, Gary Payton 10th. Rod Strickland, Russell Westbrook.
That makes me feel old, Rod Strickland.
Rod Strickland. Ugh. All right, man. We did it. It's 2:30. We got both shows. Everyone's sweating Chris Paul or not. If you want to call in tomorrow and play again, we'll run it back. But that's that. I think we're good to go. Quan, good work last week without me. Good work today. we'll be back tomorrow. 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific. Last word, Cheetah. And then we'll have Who Wants to Be Betting Extraordinaire at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific here at Bets TV.